Pro Baseball Stadium on lockdown after thousands of screaming Muslims swarmed the field for sick reason. Americans' favorite pastime in one U.S. state turned into horror as upwards of 15,000 Muslims in the stands swarmed the field. The entire stadium had to go on lockdown to keep people safe, and now the sick reason for the fury has been revealed after law enforcement in the area was had to work overtime to control the situation on one of the final days of Ramadan. The Muslim holy month has been one of the bloodiest on record, as entitled Islamists in the U.S. and abroad are desperately seeking to regain control that Barack Obama once gave them. With their rights drastically compromised under America's new capable president, who doesn't make apologies for the so-called religion of peace, they used Ramadan to reclaim their religion over all others in the world. While the official number of Muslims who showed up to the Angels Stadium in Anaheim, California is hard to specify due to the sheer volume of them, some news outlets are estimating approximately 15,000 to 20,000 were in attendance this week. With that many disgruntled Muslims in one place, nothing good could happen, and it didn't. The liberal state of California, which boasts Little Arabia near the stadium, which is actually an official tourist attraction like Disneyland is in the same town, allowed the multitude of Muslims to use the baseball stadium to celebrate the end of their month of domination and jihad, also known as Ramadan. The venue was not only desirable to these people because of the size needed to accommodate their massive crowd, but the Muslims also wanted an open-air place with large walls to protect them, which is quite ironic. The annual observance, which usually takes place in the stadium's parking lot, will instead be held inside on the grass. As a safety precaution, organizers told the Orange County Register it's not the outsiders they need to fear from harming them, it's each other and the brutal common beliefs they share that's truly dangerous, which is in part why America needs a border wall to protect the country from them. All of these Muslims protected by the large walls of the stadium for their Ramadan celebration are against a border wall, so they should have been forced to hold their event in the parking lot to prove that walls aren't necessary and anyone is welcome. It's surprising that in the violent climate we live in today, with the increased terror threat currently in effect, that any U.S. state would allow this many Muslims to gather in the city center. Perhaps it's less surprising for a state that makes a whole section of the Southern California city an official attraction for people to come feel like they're in the Middle East. OC Weekly gushes over this terrorist tourist attraction known as Little Arabia, after months of courting local communities, politicians and convention officials. Little Arabia marked another milestone yesterday. The ethnic enclave of family-friendly Middle Eastern restaurants and markets mostly along Brookhurst Street in Anaheim is now recognized as a tourist attraction by the city and the Anaheim-Orange County Visitor and Convention Bureau. A profile of the district won't live online on the latter's website, making things official. Through a partnership with the Arab American Chamber of California, the aim is closer to becoming reality, and it couldn't have come at a better time. Throngs of summer tourists are coming into Anaheim and its surrounding areas for treks to Disneyland. For those coming into the area from the Muslim world, Ramadan is also in full effect. What better way to break a religious fast at sunset while on vacation than with an epic iftar buffet in Little Arabia? The district is a few miles west of the Anaheim resort, but plans are being made to connect the two. If this isn't a cultural infiltration, I don't know what is. Are there attractions like pin the tail on the goat, or rules that girls must be this short and young to ride this ride with men 5 times their age? Perhaps they can cool off with a camel urine slushie there in the hot California heat before taking target practice at infidels for prizes. This is California's way of warming people up to the enemy by assimilating it with the likes of Disneyland. Little Arabia isn't fun and whimsical like the Disney attractions are for families considering what Islam stands for, and should not be celebrated like this.